Hi, Cindy here, and I have an angel message for you. So I'm going to get right to it. Okay. This is a message about something very exciting. People in the Lightworker community have been working very hard. And the Lightworker community is a very diverse community. The Lightworker community has been working very hard within this diversity, and it has created a beautiful foundation for the awakening to spread around the world. The fact that the Lightworker community is very diverse is a very intentional part of this awakening process. The Lightworker community has been working through these diverse energies in a way that involves a lot of entangled energies with diversity at its core. So there are many aspects of spirituality that are held in various different expressions within the Lightworker community. And these different expressions have been an integral part of the energy the Lightworkers have created within the awakening path. So Lightworkers understood this when they planned these lifetimes and these different and diverse understandings and experiences. The Lightworkers understood that by incorporating this diversity and different understandings within their awakening path, they would lay a foundation for diversity and different understandings to be an integral part of the awakening path. So the awakening process for the world will include an understanding and acceptance of diversity and different understandings of the information around spirituality and awakening. So this was a planned experience, and it was planned to help those following the first wave of Lightworkers to have an experience of awakening that included diversity and different understandings with ease. This path was not easy to forge with the first wave of Lightworkers. They had a challenging time of learning to appreciate the diversity and different understandings within their community. Now, you are about to experience something magical. This diversity and different understandings is about to have a big reveal. This diversity and different understandings of spirituality is about to be revealed in as a spectacular gift to all of the Lightworkers in the first wave, as well as all the Lightworkers following in their footsteps for years to come throughout the awakening process. The first to understand this gift will be the first wave of Lightworkers. So this will become a gift in your awakening process. The whole idea that diversity and different understandings exist within the spiritual community is a planned experience to make the awakening process easier for those following the first wave. And this process is made easier by giving everyone behind the first wave this knowledge key around the diversity and different understandings being a gift. So in order to pass on this knowledge key around this being a gift, the first wave of Lightworkers must experience this gift. This gift is about to be experienced on a huge scale by many of the lightworkers in the first wave. This will be experienced in a way that will bring a tremendous wave of understanding to many of these lightworkers in a moment that will be felt by these lightworkers within a very short time frame of each other. So this won't be a perfectly synchronized moment. However, it will occur over a short period of time, and many lightworkers in the first wave will experience something magical together. And that will help them understand that diversity and different understandings within the spiritual community has been a huge gift that everyone will eventually benefit from. This gift will bring you something very undeniable. This gift will bring you a very tangible experience of bonding with lightworkers from diverse and differently understanding communities. This bond will be a surprise to every lightworker when it happens. This bond will bring you an understanding of kinship with other lightworkers of differing beliefs. And you will suddenly feel an appreciation for them that will fill your heart with love and euphoria. This euphoria will bring you a magical experience specific to you. You will have a magical experience when you feel this sudden love and euphoria for other lightworkers with differing beliefs. And this love and euphoria will bring you a blessing into your life. And this is a blessing that you planned, that will come into your life with a magical experience. So when this happens, you will understand that this is your gift. And you will pass on the knowledge around diversity and differing understandings within the awakening process, and how this is truly a gift. And this will change the awakening experience for every lightworker after the first wave of lightworkers. And you will have a much bigger appreciation for diversity than ever before. This is how the world will change. To begin to accept and see diversity as a blessing instead of as division. What a gift that will be. Oh my goodness. And I'm sure everyone in the spiritual community has experienced this diversity and idea of different understandings, and there's even been some conflict and all kinds of different experiences that we've had. But this idea that the whole time we have been forging a knowledge key around how diversity is truly a blessing, because we're going to receive this blessing. Oh my goodness, there's so much in this message that is just incredible. So yeah, and within any group, like we have been clearing karma, and the spiritual community is at the forefront of this. So many of us have been really digging deep and scrubbing those pots and getting all of the little bits and pieces of karma that's stuck and just, stagnant energies. We've been releasing that. And a lot of our interactions within the spiritual community have helped us to do that. So, like, one example of that, just to have something to talk about, is maybe the experience of being left out or exclusion. So this is a common experience. I think every human being has experienced being left out of something. Now, while you still have that energy, and so this could have originated from something in this lifetime. Maybe you plan to have some big, impactful experience of being left out, or it could be residue from a past life where you had that, and perhaps being left out actually led to something very powerful, like your death. So, for instance, you could have had a lifetime where things were fairly primitive, and if you were left out of your family group, let's say somehow you got lost, and so you were separated, and you experienced this feeling of being excluded from your group. It wasn't a purposeful exclusion, but still, it had the energy of exclusion. You were alone. And then something tragic happened to you that ended your life. Then you bring that, a shadow of that, into your next lifetimes until you heal all of those energies. So the energy of exclusion will come up in other interactions that you have. And so in the Lightworker community, this has definitely happened. And as long as you haven't healed that, this feeling can be triggered within you until you have felt it completely. Because the feeling comes from within you. It's not something somebody else gives to you. It's something that comes from within. And once you have felt that feeling completely, then it's not there anymore to come up. But then the next part of it is to then integrate those energies into your soul's energy, into your love energy body and your physical body here in Earth's energy. And I have a video about that I'll put at the end, where I talk about integrating energies and how laughter can help us do that. So yeah, like that's just one tiny idea of how a karmic thread can come from one life into this life, and it keeps coming up for you until you've experienced it fully and accepted it, and then integrated it into your energy. So within the Lightworker community, we've been helping each other do that tremendously. But the incredible thing is that as throughout this process, what we've also been doing is, because we're walking this path of awakening, and we're consciously aware that we're walking this path of awakening, and we're noticing these experiences of differing beliefs and we're not all on the same page. We're all having our own individual experience, which is exactly what the awakening process is. There are no two awakening paths that are identical. No two identical awakening paths. Everybody's path is unique. And so you might share something with this person, but then you'll share that with this person. And so your path is completely unique to you. So the idea that there are differing spiritual beliefs and understandings is crucial to be able to experience that with ease. Because if we can't learn to integrate all of these differing beliefs and be able to pick what is right for us, how are we ever going to forge our own individual paths? So this is what the first wave of Lightworkers has been doing. And all of these differing beliefs and different understandings have been very intentional, because we are forging a key, which is why I wore this key today. Because we forge healing keys, we forge knowledge keys, and when we can include love within that experience, so as we're going about our awakening process and we're witnessing all these differing beliefs and different understandings, and we're saying, I appreciate that that's your path, but that's not my path, but honors to you, honors to me, and we go about our own path. If we can infuse love into that awakening process, with an appreciation of this diversity, that gets forged into our knowledge key, around awakening and diversity. And also because we're forging this awakening path with a conscious awareness, that also gets forged into the awareness key, the knowledge key. So the first wave of Lightworkers, I have so much respect for all of you of differing beliefs and differing understandings, because we have all been doing our work, and we have been experiencing a lot of karma along the way that has brought up a lot of feelings and emotions for us to heal, while also coming to appreciate this diversity and just differing beliefs and understandings within this community. So thank you so much for doing that work and forging your own knowledge key around that experience, because now we're able to pass that on to others. And we pass this on to others automatically. As we go about our day and we interact with people around us, we are exchanging a little piece of our soul energy with them. We're sharing our soul energy so they get an imprint of that. And when they get an imprint of our soul energy, it contains all of our healing keys, all of our knowledge keys, and it automatically gets exchanged. Now, there are some certain healing keys and things that we can create modalities around and have healing practices around, and we can share very deeply within those practices. But also just in our everyday life, walking around, smiling at people, saying hi, having an interaction. Whenever you have an interaction with another human being, these energies are exchanged. Now, the deeper the interaction, the deeper the exchange of these energies. However, just a smile as you're passing someone on the street, just a friendly hello, is an interaction deep enough to share your healing keys and knowledge keys with them. So we are all encouraged to try to interact as much as possible. And now this happens virtually as well as in person. The experiences are a bit different, but they are valid virtually as well as in person, and very powerful either way. Oh my goodness. So I'm so pumped about this message. I'm so glad that they came through and said this, because I know it has been a confusing part for a lot of people, me included sometimes, as to why we all have so many different understandings and so many different experiences and beliefs within our spiritual community. It is so incredibly diverse. So now to have this understanding of what a blessing that is, and how that's literally going to help us change the world, not only in the awakening process, but even just in the world at large, in sharing the knowledge that diversity in and of itself is a gift and a blessing. That is something the world is waiting for. All right. Thank you so much for listening, for sharing your soul's energy with all of us, and for being you. I wish you a fantastic day. Bye.